So these are known as American alligators. They are really amazing animals. They can go a whole year without eating. They can actually survive 2 to 3 years without eating if absolutely necessary. Whenever an alligator loses its tooth, it grows a new one right in its place. They have a third eyelid. It's called a nictitating membrane. So when you watch them blink, you'll see a clear goggle come across and then they'll blink their eye. They have one of the most advanced heart systems in the world for 2 different reasons. One, they can slow it down to 1 to 2 beats per minute, which is absolutely amazing. That allows them to actually go into a river that's freezing, put their little nose and their little eyes above the water, and slow their heart rate down and actually be able to go through a freeze and be perfectly okay. These have been around since dinosaurs, and they're one of the only, well, they are the only animal who has never evolved, changed, right? So they are the same now as they were then, which is super cool. Believe it or not, we actually almost eliminated the alligator. We almost brought them to extinction. And they're one of the first animals that we actually successfully brought back under the
you know what's really cool?
Protection Act.
Is now the Chinese alligator is under that same extinction, very close, and they're looking at how we did it to save them.
That's so cool. We bred the living daylights out of them. Is what we did, and we released them and got them back up and going. Now, alligators are really important because they control species for us. They keep those swamps and bayous nice and clean of being overpopulated by other animals. Now, a lot of people go, but alligators, they're so scary, they're so aggressive. I've been working with alligators since I was 12 years old. I actually went swimming with our alligators quite frequently. The reality of alligators is they're ambush predators. So if you go into the water and it's almost like red light, green light. So if you're looking at them and kind of like, stay away, most of the time they will do that. It's when you turn around and they feel like they can actually sneak up on you for attack is when the alligators will come towards you. So they are really cool animals. They are very docile. We all go in here with them and they're perfectly fine.
Are they biologically family? No idea.
Oh, really? Are these guys related? No. Nuh-uh. Nope. Sully came from a confiscation. He's only 6 years old. Some of these other gators are upwards to, gosh, we've had them. I was going back and looking at the Facebook page. We've had them for over 10 or 15 years, some of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, if they're the same gator. No, I'm just kidding. We've had lots of gators come through our compound. Alligators never stop growing. They'll hit over 1,000 pounds and 14 foot long. And the really cool thing about alligators is they can adapt to territory. So they'll actually slow that growth rate down if needed. So I have Rex who can't come out here yet, but we have been power feeding him. We've gotten him to almost double in size since we've had him. So he's gone from 18 inches to about, he's probably about 32 inches. So almost doubled in size. And, he is actually 8 years old. He's older than Sully and he's an eighth of the size of Sully.
Yeah.
So he is a tiny little bugger, but what happened is he was kept in an aquarium his whole life, and so to accommodate that territory, he slowed that growth rate down. Now, alligators normally grow about a foot a year for the first, 4 to 5 years of their life, and then they'll start slowing that growth rate down once they get big enough to be able to protect themselves out in the wild. So I'm trying to remember, I saw one of the biggest alligators on TV the other day. It was just absolutely breathtaking of how big this alligator was. I mean, his head was as big as Sully's body. It's just as...
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing to see.
Is it from Australia?
It might have been in Australia. I was just watching a documentary. The coolest thing... Oh, thank you, guys. Halfway there?
A little over halfway there.
So the coolest thing about alligators, guys, though, is that... that if we didn't have... The reason that we brought alligators back is because if we don't have alligators, a lot of other species will suffer, and if not, go extinct themselves. So they do create a beautiful balance in the ecosystem, so we do need them. One of the biggest things where you guys will see these down in Florida quite a bit, it's funny when you talk to somebody from Florida, or someone from Florida comes out here on our tour, because they're like, oh, it's a gator, that's cool. It's like this nonchalant, like everyday attitude, and you're just going, you're like some of the people from Washington are like, oh my God, a gator! Like, it's like, because we don't see them up here, right? We're not acclimated to having them.
Can you touch one?
I don't know if I have keys. They're not hungry either. Holly, we came on live the other day, we're like, we're gonna feed the gators! And we held chicken in front of their mouth and they were like,
meh.
They're not. So this is Susan. Susan's our littlest gator out here. Then we have Randall and we have Sully. But yeah, they're pretty amazing animals. You're so cute.
Yep, I go into them every single week to clean that tank, and tomorrow they're actually all getting salmon, and hopefully they eat.
And then tank cleaning day comes on Monday. Or Saturday, whichever.
I'm going to try Friday.
Oh, are you?
Now that I cleaned my sub pump, so it should drain faster.
Hi, honey.
So Susan is the smallest gator in here.
Stinker. She's grown actually quite a bit. Jeremy sent me a video of them getting put in this tank 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Can you believe it's that long ago?
No, I cannot. Now, this is not our design.
What? Dan, you're hilarious. I have to say, it's very nice to see Ashley with keys.
The last few weeks. Note that.
But you know what was really funny is at some point this week, Ashley watered for me. And I realized she didn't have the right keys because the hose was just threaded through the one gate to get to Cougars and not open.
Yeah. I have not had those keys. I have them at my house, but I have not had those keys for that lock for a good 4.5 years or 3 years.
Since we changed them?
Since we changed them. I was like, out with the old, in with the new. And then I realized you guys didn't change the center for the Cougars. And so I always have to go around because I still have not put that key on my key ring. So, yes, I did.
Why do you think they attack in the wild?
I know why they attack in the wild. It's the little lady who passed away. Very, very unfortunate. Super sad. The tragedy is not, I'm not making the tragedy less than what it really is. But walking a dog along a lake bank that has known gators with a dog, something that they will smell and something that they will go after, and walking that close to the bank and then literally watching this alligator come towards the dog that has its back turned towards it, what happens is the alligator will come out of water, they'll close their eyes and start swinging their head side to side. When something touches that tongue, they latch down, they pull it in, they death roll it, or they take it under and drown it. So with that, because alligators swallow their food whole, they don't chew it, so they do have to bring it into smaller pieces, which is a horrible thought. But
so death roll isn't actually to kill the animal; it's to break limbs off,
to be able to eat it. And you know what I watched the other day? Oh, this is so horrible.
You didn't watch a death roll, did you?
Did I what?
Watch a death roll?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
It popped up on my feed. I watched a death roll. So what happened was they were feeding, because like gator facilities have like 60, 70 gators in the same tank with each other, right? And so this guy was feeding the gators and he put the freaking piece of chicken next to another gator's leg, and it grabbed his leg instead and it rolled his leg off. Well, the thing, which is, it's horrible. Okay, it's horrible. It happens, but it's horrible. Especially when you have that many gators. And even in the wild, that will happen. It's that misidentity, right? They mistaken identity. So they'll come up, they'll grab, sometimes they won't realize it's an alligator, and they'll just whoop, roll it right off. Now, here's the thing about alligators. They can stop the blood flow to be able to heal. So alligators, we've gotten alligators that have no arms because they
Thank you for all the hot dogs.
Things like that. Here goes Sully. Let's get him to go in the water. Sully, will you go in the water? Come on. Hey, bud, you want to go in the water? He's like, no, it's warm up here. I love the propane. Sully's kind of a butthead. He's new to this gator pack, and he's kind of asserted his dominance to...
He's a very spoiled gator and has always gotten what he wants.
Hey, bud. See, there's nothing. They're so gentle, So
they're kind of rough on top, but if you feel their underbelly, it's very soft and smooth.
Yeah, it's really cool. We love gators. My favorite thing about you is your eyes, though. Your eyes just absolutely are so beautiful. I'm an eye person.